Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, welcome. I hope that you learn a little something, or in any case, or at least entertained in some fashion or another. And if you are a regular subscriber and watch our content, then welcome back. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about what is Discord. How did it get started? Who's involved with it? Let's get into it. All right, let's start out with what is Discord? Well, Discord is the music project, the band, if you will, that I have with my husband, Violin. The idea for this project came a few years ago when he had an idea of taking some of my vocal repertoire, my opera arias or art songs that I sing regularly, and updating them, adding guitars, drums, bass, your typical rock instruments, and backing tracks, and kind of rearranging and modernizing them a little bit for performance. I thought, well, okay, well, let's see what we can do with it, come up with something, and let's see what shakes out. Now, a little bit of background. I grew up listening to rock, metal, pretty much all kinds of things. And I was also trained in classical music. I started playing piano when I was 6, and then switched to voice lessons, which then led me into going to school, to college for music. And I have degrees in vocal performance, and I talk about that in some previous videos. So if you haven't caught that, you can go back and catch up. Now, Violin has also gone to school for music. That's actually where we met. But his training is slightly different than mine in that he was in not just classical, playing upright bass with the orchestra, but he has a degree playing electric bass as well as jazz performance. And he's played in multiple metal bands through the years and raised on, some of those same bands that I was. Both of us are very much into the dark sort of goth aesthetic, and we decided to kind of combine those things together in this project that we call Discord Industrial Opera. While Vio does most of the work behind the scenes, he is the one that rearranges, structures the music, puts together the backing tracks, and does most of the composition of the arrangement, basically, of the pieces that we do. That includes choosing the instrumentation, adding in the guitar parts, programming, the drums, and so forth. My contribution is in singing the vocals for the songs, of course, but also choosing a lot of the repertoire. At this point, most of the repertoire has been arias and art songs that I already perform. But I really wanted to select very specific types of songs and subject matter for those songs to really fit in a cohesive way for performance. Now, one of the first pieces that we put together was actually a piece from the Renaissance. It's a lute song by John Dowland, called Flow My Tears. We then selected another one, In Darkness Let Me Dwell. Now, both of these pieces are not your typical opera pieces or even classical art song, but I really felt that the subject matter on them has a very goth feel to it to me. The texts of the songs that I choose are very important, and I want them to speak to people on an emotional level. Now, some of the other songs, of course, that we perform are in foreign languages, such as Strida la Pampa, which is in Italian, from Verdi's opera Il Trovatore. And it is the aria that Azucena sings, where she is describing the depiction of her mother being burned at the stake for being a gypsy. There's also, of course, the Habanero, which is in French, by Bizet, which is a classic song, femme fatale, of seduction and dangerous woman, We also chose the Erlkönig, which is a German art song by Franz Schubert, based on the poem by Goethe. It is the classic tale of the elf king who steals the souls of children. The pacing on that song is very, very fast, and as depicted in Franz Schubert's version, the galloping of the horse as the father is trying to get him to safety. So you have this constant rhythmic motion, which gives it a very metal feel. We also chose a few others that have a very dark sort of subject matter or text. The Black Swan from Giancarlo Menotti's The Medium, and When I Am Laid in Earth, Dido's Lament from Dido et Aeneas by Henry Purcell. We've got some new ones in the works that we will be revealing, and maybe we give you guys some behind the scenes on how we put these songs together and everything that goes into that. We're also working on some original songs and projects that we will talk about here in later videos. So gives you a little bit of a background, an idea of what it is that we do. Now, when it comes to the aesthetic of the group, when we are performing, we have chosen the persona of vampires. Part of that is because of the goth aesthetic that Violin and I are both so fond of, but it kind of made sense. It started almost as a joke. Violin said something about it, and then I paused and thought, not such a bad idea, actually. It seemed to make sense, because if you're taking music from, some of it is literally from the late 1500s, so 400 years ago, how we have taken these songs from there to now, well, wouldn't it make sense that a vampire would know these songs from living through those times to bring them into the modern day? We decided to go with it and put together this very romanticized persona with which to tell these stories. It's my hope that our audience is exposed to new music that they might never have heard from history, and maybe open up new avenues and new interest in things. Again, that's part of the whole point of this channel, is to give you information and knowledge that I think is interesting, and hopefully you will too. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch the videos and hang out with me. If you've got any questions, you want to know anything about Discord, please leave me a comment down below. If you've got some ideas on songs that you would like to hear, maybe you know a little bit about classical music and there's something, one of the new songs coming up actually was suggested by someone who had seen our show, and we're very appreciative of that. Love to hear from you guys, and thanks so much for hanging out and watching. Don't forget to click the thumbs up if you like the video, and the subscribe button, notification bell, of course, so you know when videos come out. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you guys soon.